Hello friends, welcome. Let's continue with our analysis of Rahu Ketu transit from Leo Ascendant. So here we'll be taking up a real chart analysis. What are the key considerations? And this is only from a Leo Ascendant perspective. Some of the key questions with regards to promotions, new job, relationship, etc. etc. So this is a real life example that I'm going to take for analysis. So like you can see, this is the chart in front of me of a Leo Ascendant. You can look at the running Dasha. Here the running dasha is basically moon mahadasha, and the Jupiter antardasha was just about to complete will get complete in January, and it will start Saturn bhukti or Saturn antardasha. So this is very critical step one in analysis. So in step two, what we need to do is basically we'll have to look at what is the position of Rahu in the whole chart. So currently we can see that for this particular ascendant, Rahu is in Pisces, and that's where the transit is going to take place, and it's going to be a significant transit. And more specifically, because even Jupiter is going to switch signs, it's going to move from Aries to Taurus, and that's what we need to analyze as part of this chart. So the next step to do in this specific example is to take D1, D9 and D10, these three charts, and look for the relative position of Rahu and Ketu. So here we can see in the D1 chart, the Rashi chart, we have Rahu and Ketu along the Pisces Virgo axis, and the same axis is getting activated in the Navamsha also. This is significant. So this is going to be a very significant transit for this particular native. So when we speak of impact that's going to be felt, yes, this native is going to feel the impact of this transit. Now what is going to be the impact of the transit? That's for us to analyze based on other criterias over here. So what we are going to do is we are going to look at the lagna, and we are going to look at the and the moon as a lagna. See, moon lagna is critical. So Rahu basically in this chart is 12th from moon lagna and 8th from the regular Leo ascendant. Now most people ignore moon lagna, but remember in this case moon lagna is very important. Moon is Vargottama both in D9 as well as in D10. It occupies the same Rashi, it occupies Aries in all the three charts. So the impact from the moon is very critical for analysis of this specific chart, and any impact of the transit has to be analyzed more from moon rather than from the ascendant also. So all the 12th house themes are going to become active for this particular native, and we now look at the running dasha. So the running dasha is going to again form another lagna point for another. So dasha lagna point for this chart would be, like we saw, the Saturn is the bhukti antardasha. So we'll make Saturn as an antardasha lagna point, and look at the placement of Saturn with regards to Rahu, and we see it is forming a trinal relationship. So it's very critical to see that when antardasha lord is forming a trinal relationship, and in that trinal relationship we'll also have to see in the Navamsh, Rahu's dispositor Mercury is forming a very close relationship with Saturn. Please note Rahu is in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. It is again Saturn Nakshatra. So there is a linking between Rahu, Saturn and Mercury. Mars is aspecting the Saturn. So now we are establishing a link. Mars is a Yogakaraka planet for this specific lagna. So Mars aspecting Saturn, Rahu forming in trine with Saturn and Mercury, Saturn Mercury conjunct together in Navamsha, Mercury being dispositor of Rahu. So there is a very clear linkage between these three or four planets together for this particular native. So this linkage has to be established before we look at any kind of a transit result and predict. Now again, Rahu is forming in the 5th house from the dasha lagna. 5th house is also includes matters relating to romance and love relationship. I know about this native a bit, so I can very well predict that she will be into a new romantic relationship that is coming up. Mars is also expecting. Mars is the karaka or a male in case of a female native. So Mars aspecting, let's say, 12th house from the Chandra Lagna, you can form the conclusions yourself. So definitely there's going to be an improvement in the relationship, and new relationships will be formed in this time period for this native. So 12th house from the Rashi Lagna is also having the Mercury, which was forming a relationship with Saturn. So now what's going to happen is Jupiter is Rahu will wait for Jupiter to come to Taurus and give its aspect to Saturn. If you look at the D10, Saturn is in the 10th house and also the 10th lord of D10. So Jupiter aspecting the Saturn, which is also Antardasha lord, is going to be very significant in terms of career. Also the 10th house indicates career, and 10th house in D10 is very significant when we look at Saturn as a natural karma karaka. The 10th house and the 10th lord both aspected by Jupiter, a benefic planet for this law, for this ascendant, and aspecting the Shalagna is going to prove very significant in terms of her professional achievement. She is going to definitely achieve something great in her career. Now when is this going to take place? So for that we'll have to further analyze a bit more in detail as to what is the degreecal so if you look at from Saturn being the Dasha Lagna, in Dashamsha we find the 10th house being Taurus, and the 10th lord Venus being aspected by Jupiter from the sign of Venus itself, from Taurus to Venus being aspected in Scorpio. So that is also one more confirmation that we get. Now when we look at the things degreegally, we get further information. So we need to understand that this native is currently quite old enough and would be looking for professional kind of an achievement, and also in terms of relationship, education would not be her priority. So we look at the Ashtak Varga score of the Taurus, where Jupiter is going to transit. We find a good number. So basically if we can draw a conclusion, we can say that for someone who is of this age group and who is into a professional career and having a steep rise of Ashtagvaga from 25 to 40 points in Taurus from Aries, so we can surely say it's going to be a very benefic transit, because Rahu does not give anything on itself. It has to wait for Saturn and Jupiter to first activate, and then the direction will be followed by Rahu. Now when it's going to happen, that would depend on the degree of the Graha. Saturn is already in 33 point placement. Rahu is at 9 degrees in this particular horoscope, so we'll have to wait for Rahu to come somewhere near 9 degree, to somewhere around say even 12, somewhere around 12 degrees. So if you look at the time frame, somewhere around October 2024, this is a transit chart. So Rahu will be somewhere around 12 degree. That's a good enough orb for Rahu to basically have a good overlap over the natal Rahu. And you will also have Jupiter as 27 degrees aspecting the Scorpio sign. So this would be a very good time when she can get a very good promotion and raise. Again, we'll have to look at the fast moving planets. If you look at it from a transit chart on top of a D10, a career chart, we can see Jupiter aspecting Venus, which is a very good thing, which is basically the 10th lord from the Dasha Lagna. And if you look at it from so this is transit applied on top of natal Rashi chart. You can find Rahu transiting Rahu over the natal Rahu, and Jupiter aspecting natal Saturn. So this is what we started with analysis with. We can also find the Ashtakvarga score 40. So to summarize, we did analysis based on the Rashi, Navamsha, Dashmansha, which are 3 critical pieces, and then also the moon lagna, the dasha lagna, mahadasha, antardasha, the transit nakshatra, and the orb of influence. If you are interested in a free consultation, you can send your details to this email address, and thank you for your time.